Good, happy Saturday morning, February 22, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Saturday morning edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's get this Saturday morning off to a good start. Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy this Saturday morning edition of Good Morning New Hampshire, Saturday, February 22nd, 2020. I'm Riley King. We're going to start off with your news first. We're going to begin with local news. We have a little bit of everything for you in Good Morning New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoy. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's begin. First up, here is some local news. State police respond to crash on Route 101 East in Exeter. Take a look at this photo from the scene. Route 101 eastbound accident in Exeter. State police responded to the scene of a crash on Route 101 eastbound by Exit 9 in Exeter on Saturday morning. The crash happened just before 7 a.m. A semi-trailer can be seen stuck in the woods. According to officers, the crash caused minor injuries. The right lane of the highway was temporarily closed down. And we're going to switch gears and go into national news. In national news, Michael Bloomberg announces he will release some women from his non-disclosure agreements. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Breaking headline tonight, a reversal from former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg tonight. Bloomberg now says he is releasing some of the women, 3 women, who signed those non-disclosure agreements. His decision comes after the intense pressure on that debate stage from Elizabeth Warren and others. ABC's Mary Bruce tonight on the women who will now be able to share their story, should they choose to do so.
Under enormous pressure tonight, an about-face from Michael Bloomberg, announcing he will release some women who filed complaints against his company from their confidentiality agreements. Bloomberg has been pummeled over the issue.
Mr. Mayor, are you willing to release all of those women from those non-disclosure agreements so we can hear their side of the story?
We have a very few non-disclosure agreements.
How many is
Let me
that?
finish.
How many is that?
None of them accuse me of doing anything other than maybe they didn't like the joke I told. And let me put, there's agreements between 2 parties that wanted to keep it quiet, and that's up to them.
But several of the women who have signed NDAs with Bloomberg's company told ABC News they are interested in telling their stories, but feared the prospect of retribution.
We are not going to beat Donald Trump with a man who has who knows how many non-disclosure agreements and the drip, drip, drip of stories of women saying they have been harassed and discriminated against. That's not what we do as Democrats.
It was clear Elizabeth Warren wasn't going to drop it, the senator taunting Bloomberg, drawing up her own contract to release the women from these agreements.
All that Mayor Bloomberg has to do is download it. I'll text it. Sign it, and then the women or men will be free to speak and tell their own stories.
With another debate set for Tuesday in South Carolina, today from Bloomberg, an abrupt change in tone. The billionaire saying that after a lot of reflecting, he recognizes non-disclosure agreements promote a culture of silence in the workplace and contribute to a culture of women not feeling safe or supported. He announced his company has identified 3 NDAs with women to address complaints about comments they said I had made, and that those women would now be released from the agreements. Now, Bloomberg isn't even on the ballot here in Nevada, and after the caucus is here tomorrow, all eyes will shift to South Carolina and that next debate. Bloomberg's team is already preparing, and they admit he took a beating in the first debate and say he has to do better. David.
All right, Mary Bruce in Nevada for us all week. Mary, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. And here is a look at your radar for this Saturday morning. And as you can see, it is a nice clear day in New Hampshire and bright and sunny outside as well. Now let's talk about the weather today and your hourly forecast and your weather right now. Your weather right now is fair, 12 degrees. And here's a look at that hourly forecast for all of you. 9 a.m. sunny, 21 degrees. 10 a.m. sunny, 26 degrees. 11 a.m. mostly sunny, 29 degrees. 12 p.m. mostly sunny, 32 degrees. 1 p.m. mostly sunny, 37 degrees. And 2 p.m. mostly sunny, 38 degrees. So look at the hourly forecast. And the weather today, a good deal of sunshine, high around 40 degrees, winds west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And here's a look at those current temperatures across New Hampshire right now. And here's a look at your next 7-day forecast. Next couple of days will be nice, and then looks like something will be brewing around the end of the work week. And that is your weather. Now we're going to switch gears now and go into New Hampshire life. And let's talk about your event calendar right now around New Hampshire and Boston and Maine. On your event calendar, Maple Sugaring Intervention Adults, 9 o'clock a.m. at Prescott Farm Environmental Education Center. Wildlife Tracking Workshop with Susan Moores, 9 a.m., a local forest. Finding joy in every moment, teaching and meditation with Manny Moores, 9 a.m. at Albano. Bob Farrell, 9 a.m. at the Rochester Public Library. Family Hike, Unfreezable, How Trees Handle Winter, 9 a.m. at Squam Lake Association. Lamont Gallery presents Cut Up / Cut Out, 10 o'clock a.m. at Lamont Gallery. Learn to skate or learn to play hockey, 10 o'clock a.m. at Plymouth State University Ice Arena. On stage with NHWP / 6-week playwriting curriculum, 10 o'clock a.m. at the Ford House. Teddy Bear Tea, 10 o'clock a.m. at Wentworth by the Sea. Zombies 2 event, 11 o'clock a.m. at the mall at Rockingham Park. And now let's talk about some top 10 things to do in New Hampshire this weekend. Let's take a look. The 17th Annual Ice Harvest and Winter Carnival. All the family fun can be found at the Ramek Country Doctor Museum in Tamworth on Saturday from 11 to 3 p.m. Admission is $5 to $10. Feel birth come to your sense. See a performance by the Filbert Dance Theater when they perform Come to Your Sense at the Colonial Theater in Keene on Saturday at 8 p.m. Tickets are $35 to $49. Rick Springfield, Stripped Down. Rick Springfield will take on the Tupelo Music Hall in Derry on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $75 to $90. The 8th Annual Seacoast Winter Brew Fest. It's Portsmouth Beer Week. Celebrate at the 8th Annual Seacoast Winter Brew Fest at the Portsmouth Gaslight CO in Portsmouth on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets are $50 to $75. Jimmy Dunn's Comedy All-Star. Jimmy Dunn is coming to the Palace Theatre in Manchester, and he's bringing some friends. See them on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $29. Hey 19 Steel Dan Tribute. Hey 19, a Steel Dan Tribute Band will perform at the Rochester Opera House on Saturday at 8 p.m. Tickets are $18 to $22. Fire and Ice Festival. Visit the Wolfboro Inn this weekend to experience their Fire and Ice Festival on Friday and Saturday from 5 to 10 p.m. Tickets are $5. The 28th Annual Winter Carnival. Be a part of the 28th Annual Winter Carnival at the Wisman Park in Merrimack on Saturday from noon to 3 p.m. Admission is free. Pride and Prejudice. Presented by Theatre Napo, this new adoption of Jane Austen Pride and Prejudice will be performed this weekend at the Bank of New Hampshire stage in Concord. Tickets are $23 to $28. Mount Washington Valley Chocolate Festival. Who loves chocolate? The Mount Washington Valley Chocolate Festival will be held this weekend at the Mount Washington Valley Ski Touring and Snowshoe Foundation in Interval on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tickets are $30 in advance and $35 day of the event. And that is a look at your top 10 things to do this weekend right here in New Hampshire. Discover Tamworth, New Hampshire. This New Hampshire village holds more than you might think. Let's take a look at this article from NewHampshireMagazine.com. And I will let you guys read it, and I'll scroll, and you guys can read it. Places from this story: the Tamworth Distilling, 15 Cleverland Hill Road, Arts in the Age Cafe, 85 Main Street, Remick Country Doctor Museum and Farm, 58 Cleveland Hill Road, Tamworth Farmers Market, Indoor Farmers Market held at the Tamworth Town Hall House, Pizza at the White Gates Farm, and Corner House Inn. the Tamworth Post Office, Remick Country Doctor Museum and Farm, music at the White Gates Farm Pizza Night, Tamworth Disting in Matar, Cooper Still at the Tamworth Disting, Barrel Room at the Tamworth. Very cool. And if you want to read that article and see the article again, we will share it with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page right after this broadcast. But I never knew Tamworth had all those places there. A small town. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. In entertainment news, Harrison Ford on acting with a human being as a dog in Call of the Wild exclusive. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
What do you say, Buck? Adventure of a lifetime.
The cast of The Call of the Wild are gushing about icon Harrison Ford, but he's gushing about his co-star, who is actually a human being on all fours. I like seeing you scratch Terry's ears. Like he's your real life dog at this point. What was that like on set?
It was fun. Yeah. He was great. He's a talented actor. And so I had something to relate to. I wasn't just working with a spot on the wall. And it was a great advantage to me. He's a wonderful guy, very talented actor, as I said.
I think there's no better moment than Harrison Ford scratching your ears like he's a real life dog.
I know. It was cool. I mean, he was my owner for a couple months, and we believed it. I was his dog.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, hi, Harrison Ford, I'm going to be your dog for the next few months.
That's how we introduced ourselves.
Yeah.
We said, okay, I'm going to treat you like a dog, and he patted me on the head, and we just carried on from there.
You're like on all fours.
Yeah.
As Buck. Love it. I need the behind-the-scenes footage.
He's my size. Buck is my size when I'm on these arm extensions, so it's perfect. It was perfect. Hey, it just happened that way.
The relationship that my character has with Buck, the dog, and the value they bring to each other in the context of that relationship. Buck finds his destiny, and the character that I play, John Thornton, redeems humanity in Buck's eyes. Buck has had a rough go of it, and finally he's treated with the dignity and respect that is his destiny. And it's a very charming story. Emotionally powerful.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at those celebrity birthdays for today. Let's see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they all have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful day. And that does it for this morning edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoyed watching this morning edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Saturday, everyone. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. There'll be no Good Evening New Hampshire this evening, and no entertainment report this evening, and entertainment news this evening. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. See you back here on Sunday. Goodbye, everyone.